And here we are. This is the second interview today. Tammy, who switched for posting largely on LinkedIn for personal use. So she was putting out written posts and things like that, but there was no deliberate purpose to it. She moved over to this particular LinkedIn learning course that she was interested in. And this is another story here where there's a bit of a change in her career, or there's a sort of break in the road here. It seems that she's had some issue with disability which has caused her to stop working, and then she's had to go off and try to find support and assistance and the schemes that she's paid into that she should be getting her money back out from. And apparently the process to get this just takes a very long time. So she wants to create a grassroots fund that are going to help people in that context to bridge the gap between whenever their last paycheck was and whenever this benefit money that they're entitled to starts flowing. So she wanted to do this about 18 months ago. She eventually launched it June this year. But actually this is one where the screener picked up, I think it was the last 6 months, but it was longer. So it's about a year ago that she actually joined this LinkedIn conversation or course. And it happened as part of her preparation, but not deliberately. So what she would do is go spend a couple of hours on LinkedIn a day, kind of pulled in by whatever the notifications are, and then kind of mindlessly scrolling, as I think we all do. What she saw on there, she saw certain content which was kind of soothing, calming, or inspirational. And these images, they kind of pulled her in, or images and videos, I think it was. And she started to pay attention. But what she really thought was, I don't think it was deliberate at that time, but she was trying to work out, why do these capture my attention? And why do other posts, why do I scroll past some stuff as though it's not there? And what stops the scroll and causes me to lean in and pay attention? In terms of doing this, she didn't want to film herself or do any video stuff or anything like that. So she needed different ways to capture attention. She couldn't rely on certain, on just creating this. And also, how do I create the same thing? But also, like, I've got the artistic talent of a 5-year-old. I can't go and put this out there just mimicking it, because actually, it won't be good enough. And I want to look professional. I want people to actually pay attention to this. She sees a LinkedIn ad on this, and then that kind of light bulb goes off. I've been trying to solve it myself. Why don't I think about taking a course on it? And then she goes off, spends about half an hour searching through different courses. So anything advanced or technically difficult was out. Anything that took time, was too lengthy a time investment, or where she had to commit to joining a course at a certain time, that's out. This isn't something I need to know, and I've got a real passion to learn now. I'm building a skill for the future. I wanted a course to go back to learn at my own pace. I think we've seen this a few times. How does this work, but why does it work? Like, what's underpinning this? So, if I'm trying to work out why a visual works, I need to know how to deconstruct it so I can build one up myself, and I can build things that work, not things that don't. There's lots of technology options that she could have chosen from out there. She doesn't really know all of them. I think she said in there, I thought Adobe Acrobat was the only Adobe product, but help me learn about these technologies, help me learn how to use one or many of them, so I can get in there, I can do what I need to do. And very much I'm trying to dabble it, I'm not trying to get into it. So I'm putting my toe in the water, I'm just starting out at this. I don't want to be the expert, I just want to be good enough, or at least know more than I did today. So again, I'm at that juncture, I'm at a launch phase, I'm thinking about the future. And I know I'm going to need social to promote it, but how do I do that? I lack any artistic talent, but I do appreciate visuals. So if I see something visual, it catches my attention, but I don't have the ability to build that myself, and that kind of motivates me to want to try and close that gap, or at least understand why it works. And that's that one. I see that there's a course available, and I'll think like, hey, why didn't I learn this? I think we see that with yours. People are coming and checking out your website, or they're subscribing to your Substack. They're seeing this and consuming the content, probably trying to work out how it works or why it's so nice. And then also, I could learn that too. And look, it's not that hard. Somebody at my skill level could do this. And I've got this, I'm not artsy, but I do have ideas I want to share, and I would like them to get fair share of attention. And that's what it is. Stop the scroll, get them thinking and sharing my ideas, grab attention. I can trust the teachers. In this case, there's some, I don't know, some college or other that I guess if you're in America, you'd have heard of it. But there certainly seems to be some credibility. These people are experts. They know what they're talking about. And in your case, if somebody follows you for long enough and they can see that you've clearly learnt this and you've got a career trajectory where you started somewhere and you've ended up where you're at, you've got that trust that, hey, this person can do it himself, so you can teach me how to do it. I want to know the why and the how, so what's the process to do this so I do it right. It's got to fit around my schedule. I want to be able to keep going back to it so I can dip in, dip out. Again, I'm dabbling at this. I'm not, I'm not sort of starting a university degree or something. I just want the basics. And I need to know the technologies. And in this case, typography came up. I was kind of probing that a fair bit. I don't know that I got the answer out of her. I had a feeling that it's about headlines, captions and titles, but this is, again, it's all about grabbing attention. So she talks about the emotional impact of certain fonts. And so if I'm trying to grab your attention and make you feel a certain way about my idea so that you will lean in and give us some money or promote it yourself, share it or whatever, it's all part of this. It's not about the visuals in this case, it's about the text, but how does it come together? How do I get that art direction head to fit this together and get the emotional resonance of my idea to come across? Could keep posting written posts, and then anxieties, is this going to be too advanced? Do I have time to complete it? Do I have to be an expert to complete it? Do I have to be somewhere at a set place and a set time? I don't want to do that. Can I do it at my own pace? In this case, it didn't cost her any money. And so I was worried in the screener. I looked and she's like, yeah, I got it as part of my LinkedIn premium subscription. And I did think, well, if you haven't paid for it, is there any trade-off? Like, is there going to be a story of struggle that we can capture? And actually, she talks about spending half an hour looking through the different courses. I have no idea. I've never looked at LinkedIn Learning, but apparently there's a wealth of different courses that she could choose from. And then she walks through the process that she's taken to eliminate things. It's like, no, that's too advanced. No, this is something for a proper graphic designer or for a marketing agency. I need the basics. I need it simple. I need it quick, and I need it in my own time. And so, in this one here, very much scroll stopper, so I can stop the scroll. So, when I've experienced the power of a visual to arrest me and make me think, help me get the skills I need to sort of be able to enact that and deliver that with others. So like I said earlier on, hearing a lot of the same stories now, we're picking this up. It's no surprise. I think with 12 interviews in, you normally get to the point now where yes, 12 different people, but we're in camps, we're in themes. What will be interesting when we pull it apart is, do sort of Tammy and Kathy or whatever, do they pull apart into separate subgroups, or does it make more sense to keep them all together because it's kind of all bundled up with one particular job that they're hiring these courses to do for them? Hopefully that helps. Cheers.